I suppose welcome to the first episode of Smackin Steel and Talking Shit. Yeah, so obviously unscripted, and there's obviously no one watching at the moment, which is cool because this at least gets me to do some work after work. Basically, premise is I'm just going to make stuff poorly, and you get to watch it live. So I am making Christmas gifts because I am rejecting consumerism, and making Christmas gifts is a lot cheaper than buying them, believe you me. If you have the skills to make your own Christmas gifts, by all means go ahead and do it. I have no idea what the audio is going to be like because literally this idea came to me in a dream last night. So I have absolutely no idea how this is going to go. It's currently, you can see the time, 6:15, so I'm probably only going to go for about maybe an hour, maybe 45 minutes because I still got to get dinner. You can see my dogs in the background. I'm keeping that door down because you can see the amount of exposure. How's that? Does it make the lighting better? I think it does. Yeah, so this is a beautiful 2-bay shed and I'm going to get full use out of it because if you're renting, list. So I have mucked up. I've been sick the past couple of days, so a lot of the stuff that I was aiming to get done didn't get done. We've got a charm that we've got to make. We've got to make a leg for a frame stand, and we've got to flatten the frame stand and add flat spots for holes, and then put rivet holes in those holes, and then make rivets because basically the frame is going to hold. It's like a triangle. Just grab the frame. It's just easier to explain it. That basically. So you can see my welding skills. Not very good, but basically what we're going to do is we're going to flatten the top of that, and there's going to be a leg, so it's going to sit like a tripod sort of thing, and those rivets are going to come through the bottom here, and there'll be little hooks so a photo frame can sit comfortably on it. It's just a gift for a family friend, basically family, and then there's a whole bunch of other stuff. I've got some annealing to do for some punches and drifts that are coming up, and then I've got to straighten an axe head, which I've never made an axe head before. So this is all new stuff to me. So come along for the ride, because I'm sure all that, the rental market in Australia right now is pretty meh. It's probably the best way to put it. But we're going to fire up the forge and we're going to get started. Sorry guys, I can see that there's messages in the chat. Where am I from? I'm from Australia, mate. Warwick is where I'm currently at. So basically, if you look on a map of Queensland, you got Brisbane right down the bottom on the coast, and if you go sort of like 2-3 hours in from there, there's Warwick, so we're up in the hills. It gets cold here in winter and very hot in summer, so it's one of the areas in Australia with the biggest temperature range, like on a normal day. It's great. I only just moved here, so this is all very new to me, but it's pretty cool. So every now and then I'll pop back over there and I'll check the chat messages. So chances are if you put a chat message in, I'm probably going to miss it. We're at the old forge. Make sure we got gas. This is the most expensive way to do blacksmithing, by the way, is using gas. It's very expensive. So I don't know what the noise is like. Don't worry, there's still ventilation in here. I've got a window open over there. There's a fan blowing it out, so I will lift that just a little bit more. Get that for lighting. Yeah. Anyway, welcome to my hot mess of a life. So, I'm going to start with first. Just for the fun of it. The house key sitting there too, that should be sitting there. Yeah. So a lot of the steel I'm working with right now is scrap steel. There's nowhere nearby that supplies any kind of carbon steel. It's all mild steel where I am. Those are their steel supplies because it's a big agricultural area. I'm still trying to find ways to get known steel, known hardness, known quenching and all that kind of stuff, but I can't really find anywhere nearby for it. And it's got to be within a reasonable drive, and a reasonable drive in Australia is like 3 hours, and I haven't found anywhere in Brisbane. So if you're from the southeast corner and you know anywhere that I can get good steel from, drop a comment on probably another video because the chat is filling up a little bit. But yes, it has. Dover says, good to see you, man. It's good to see you still alive. I don't know why I said still alive. It's good to see anyone still alive. It's been how many years since I've streamed? Like 5? Easily 5 years. It's been ages, but yeah. So, and I got to deal with that every now and then. They bark at anyone who runs past. So, hey. But yeah, safety first. Got me safety glasses on, one glove because this is the hand that goes near the fire, and an apron. Because I don't know if you saw my recent upload, but I wasn't wearing an apron on that, and I really should have been wearing one. I'll go sort those dogs out here on that. Stooges, bloody stooges. Oops, that's an earlier project. That's a fork. I've got to make a fork as well. I've never made cutlery, so for Anneling, what a red. And look, all of this is new to me. So, in my understanding, Anneling's to make the metal softer so it's more workable. And I don't know, any of you in the chat, if you've got experience working with tool steel, it's not soft. It needs to be annealed. Obviously this is scrap. A lot of, like I said, everything I work with is scrap. I have bought a brand new piece of tool steel over there. It cost me way too much money, so I prefer working with scrap. And it's just a hobby, I don't make any money from it. So, yeah. Basically, I'm not going to anneal the whole thing, just the end that I'm actually going to be working, because this is a 2-burner forge, but I hate using both burners because it gets kind of hairy. But yeah, so while that's doing that, the other thing I've got to make is a charm. It's probably the right word for it. It's like a little keychain. It's going to sit on a dog's collar because I like making gifts for dogs. I've already got stuff for my dog. You have to let me go. I died during last stream 6 years ago when I choked doing a Prismo impression. You seriously do have the voice of Prismo, man. It's unreal. But yeah, what have you been up to? Did you get married yet? I heard you were getting married last time. I actually want to know, how does it like being? Tell me. Because, man, the stuff that's happened in those 6 years, crazy. You would not believe it. But that's life, I suppose, eh? Well, crazy. Yeah, so COVID obviously happened. And the whole of COVID, when I think back on it, feels like a fever dream. None of that feels real, but that was COVID. The whole, literally fever dream. Anyway, so with this charm, you can see it's heated up there. All I'm doing is I'm just going to flatten it out. Just going to square it up. Sides. I'm trying not to smack too hard because I've got neighbours, I'm trying to be considerate. No one wants to be that guy. But yeah, so where was I? Yeah, I'm basically just going to not flatten it, square it up, put a twist in it, flatten one side out to a bevel, and then put a hole through that, and it's going to be what hangs with the keychain, and there's just going to be a twist in it, and then I'll just clean up the ends and make it artistic, I suppose. But that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Yeah, so obviously a man. Obviously a man. That's a stupid thing to say. What I was trying to say is I'm obviously a man with very little artistic ability. Because if I had artistic ability, I would have discovered it by now. So that one side's done. Put that bad boy back in the forge. might be a tip. So I'm going to let that just cool off in the forge. Ever since I was a kid, I've always been fascinated with blacksmithing, working metal, hot metal. I remember distinctly, I have this memory once, I had a piece of rebar on a rebar, for people that aren't Australian, but a piece of rebar on a fire, and pulled it out, and it was glowing that orange colour. Fascinated me. And I wasn't a kid, I was like 22 or something. I was like, oh yeah, I want to do stuff with that one day, but never really got around to it until this year. Like this year I've started doing it, and there's been like breaks in between because I've just run out of stuff to do, but once I realised the potential of this hobby though, like right now I'm making Christmas gifts for people and I don't have to work. I don't have to feed into the consumerism sort of religion that exists. And I know I'm sounding like a conspiracy theorist, really. Anything you can do to like fight back against consumerism is good, because it's been proven planned obsolescence is a thing. But I'm not going to get too much into that because it does sound crackpot. Believe you me, in time, the truth will be known. It's crazy. Anyway, so all I'm doing is heating these big bits of steel up and then just sitting them to the side. Pull that one down a little bit. Because I don't have a power hammer. You may have seen like some Gucci. But look, I watch blacksmithing videos on YouTube. I do. Black Bear Forge is great. Love that stuff. I recommend it if you're looking at getting started in the hobby. Check that guy out. There's another guy, I cannot remember his name, and I'll butcher it if I try and pronounce it. Pretty sure he's Swedish. It's either Swedish or Dutch. Swedish or Danish. And like he doesn't talk during his videos, which is very Scandinavian. But he makes some beautiful work, and I look at that stuff. That's the kind of stuff I want to be doing one day, making beautiful stuff. Got a long way to go, clearly. I'm struggling hammering out a 6mm piece of round stock into a square. So we've got a long way to go. But that's alright, you've got to start somewhere. As I've gotten older, I've realised there's not much point thinking about doing something. Sometimes you just got to get in and do it. As I used to say when I was a kid but never really followed the lesson, it ain't no unless you give it a go. There were many things I was told as a kid that I really should listen to. Really should listen. Anyway, so that's sort of squared up. We're going to heat that up. Chuck it in the vice, which is behind the camera. I won't bother turning it and then put a big twist in it. But while that's doing that, move on to the second thing, which is flattening out the top of that. We want it nice and square. That's probably going to take a little bit of finicking. See what happens. But like I said, I've been sick the past couple of days, so occasionally I will cough. That's not because it's not well ventilated here. It's well ventilated, I assure you. Part of my job is making sure that you don't breathe in bad stuff. But we'll wait for that one actually. I will cough every now and then because I had some sort of mystery bloody illness the last couple of days, and I'm not impressed. Not impressed by the inky impedat, as the Norwegians would say. Our second one, just go ready for kneeling. Probably a bit hot, but I'll quickly twist this bad boy around. Oh, should have closed the vice earlier. That was silly. Anyway, I'm good, burn ourselves, we're good. Gloves. That'll do. Alright. So, a lot of my lessons I've learned are like hard won, but basically that's twisted now. You can see it's still glowing a little bit, but it's got a twist in it, so we're going to straighten it straight away. Again, a lot of my lessons are hard won, so straighten it as soon as you twist it, and then move on to the rest of your work, and straighten it as you go, because the moment it's not straightened, it becomes a big problem, because later on in the project, it's going to suck. Yeah, so heat that bad boy back up, give it straight. While we're doing that, oh, that was almost cool, but it dropped it. While we're doing that, stick just the tip of this into the fluid. I'm not a dad yet, but my goodness, can I mock the dad jokes? I'm sure it will be one day. I have an uncle. A lot of the stuff I've kind of already made, but will be making later on, is for my two nieces. I'm very excited to be an uncle. I've been an uncle for a while now. I think it's nearly 3 years. Well, uncle by blood, uncle by title. I've been for, again, nearly 6 years for that one. There's a really good mate of mine that lives up in Cairns, and I just dropped it behind the chain. So now we're going to have to wait for that to cool down before we're reaching for it. Anyway, but yeah, so some of the gifts are for him as well. That fork that you saw me with before, that's for him. So I reckon this is going to be interesting. I don't actually know how I'm going to hold this without it going caddy wampus. That's working. That's working. Gotta hold it. Keep wanting to twist. Give it a bit. Yeah. That's a bending. Yeah, this is another trick I learned with straightening metal. See that where it's bouncing and then it goes ting, 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 ting. That means it's starting to make contact with the surface of the aircore. That's how I know it's not straight. And it seems to work 3/5 of the time. And if it works 3/5 of the time, it works. So I'm going to grab this bad boy instead. Where's that? Victoria Z. It has been a while. We were just, I was talking about Dover's actually in the chat. He's one of the I think he's one of the original subscribers to my channel back when it was, oh God, I don't even know what I made, Fever Dream videos, but yeah, it has been a while, 6 years. 6 years since I've streamed. Ages. Anyway. So I'm not going to grab it with these because obviously the handle's very short. I'm going to grab it with my tongs, like so. Transfer it to these ones, like so. Put the tongs down, like so, and then holding it with strength, conviction, speed, not too much power, just a little bit. Hammering that until it's pretty much, yeah, now it's gone caddy off the skin. That's alright. We can fix it. I can fix it. Starting to take shape. It might take me a couple of weeks to get it. Like I said, I think I made a video not that long back about the making a fly poker. A lot of what I do is fluff around the fly down, which is a PC YouTube-esque way of saying F around the fly down. Don't know who's watching. I don't want to be the guy that teaches the next generation swear words. That is the job of the parents. don't know how to swear, you need to teach them, otherwise someone else will. And then you also need to teach them where and when they can use those swear words. Not a sponsor, by the way. I don't know why I drank that from the camera. That was yeah, the last stream was 2018, 2019, New Year's at the end. Holy crap. Since it was shitpost and shitting on BuzzFeed. Yeah, those were the days, weren't they? I honestly, that video of Aussie Answers BuzzFeed, the one that's, I think it's 400,000 or 500,000 views. Actually, it's probably not that much. It's probably inflated in my head, because, you know, ego. But that is still my highest viewed video, and I honestly had no idea that was... I was just making it because I'm like, I was annoyed. I was really annoyed that BuzzFeed made that article and attacked Australia like that. I'm like, gotta make something in response. That is actually how I was as a kid though. I was weird. Still am weird as an adult. But that's okay. Because I know I am what I am. Here, hang on. Doesn't really look right, does it? At all. Right. And it's poorly welded. If you skip back right to the start of the video, you'll see how poorly welded it is. It's not welded well at all. So I would not be surprised if this thing decides, because it's already done it, I welded it, and then it decided to go, nah, just gave up on life. There it goes. Don't worry about them, they do it all the time, they'll just zip in and out. Kind of looks like a ghost, doesn't it? I need that flat, I really do. So I'm going to do what they call a pro gamer move. Chuck it over straight forward. Always works. Alright. And then before I put the leg on that one, I have to, you see that nub there? That nub right there, it needs to, sorry, let me get a bit more contrast on it. That one right there needs to be filed down until it's smooth. And then basically the leg, which I'm about to do, that'll wrap around there, and then it'll just come off the back like a normal tripod. I don't know why I'm trying to explain it. I'm sure you understand how a tripod works. But before we do that, we're going to clean up those edges because you can see it's not really symmetrical. I don't like that. I want it symmetrical. So we're going to do that. That's the next one. Also, these welding gloves are old as crap. There it's coming off from everywhere. I've had so many birds wearing these gloves. It's crazy. But yeah. Any questions you want to ask? Because the title is Smacking Steel, which we're already doing, and talking shit. Happy to talk shit. Good to update you. I made a refined version of the outcome song. Earlier this year. Are you still on? If you're still on Discord, send that to me. I want to see that. I want to listen to it. Because who knows? I might actually use it. Because it's like, this is one hobby, YouTube's the other hobby, and believe it or not, when I made that video about learning guitar, I actually stuck with it, and I'm definitely been saying good. But last night, I played one of my favourite emo songs, and anyone who says I don't like emo music knows immediately what song we're going to be talking about. So there's not really any such thing as someone who doesn't listen to emo, because if you ever turn on the radio, you know this emo song and you sing along to it because, well, it's called The Middle, and if you don't know what I'm talking about yet, don't write yourself off yet. So be in your head, you feel it. I'm not going to, I hate spoken word music, can't stand it. Slam poetry, but there needs to be rhythm. There needs to be rhythm and tone and all this beautiful stuff. Yeah, basically I got sick of knowing all these songs and all these lyrics, and I explained that in the video I was talking about learning guitar. I got sick of knowing a lot about music but not being able to play an instrument. So I figured, fuck it, let's change it. I just thought, fudge it, let's change that. So I did. And that was some constant headache. Highly recommended, look it up. That's a good song. Now I get sort of, and when I say sort of, and I mean sort of, play the guitar intro to that. I reckon that steel should have come down by now. Watch me try and extract some steel from here. I don't even know where it is. Right. Let's roll up to the other side. Fast. Yeah. Cool enough to touch it. Yes. Still kind of good. Yeah, got it. So, we will finish that off before we move on to the next one. Otherwise, I will forget. So I'm going to put that right back. Anyway, so, hey, Macy, Bella, wait. Come here. Come on. Anyway, so I want to put a flat spot right about there, right about there. Basically, the flat spot's just got to be wide enough to accommodate sort of a 6mm rivet. So they've got to be a little bit wider than that. But also, if they act as little feet and just lift the base of that off the tabletop, bench, whatever it's put on, that's even better. So I was going to try and even it up. That's the biggest problem I face with anything I do with metalwork, is keeping things even. And you know the old measure twice, cut once? It's more like measure 3 times, cut twice, weld on a new piece because you cut off too much, and then go about your business and it's still not square. That's how I do it. Casey, fella. Case, wait, come here. You think, oh yeah, they got good recall. No, go to the dog park at Evanston. Bloody ferals. Anyway, I saw some chat messages I haven't read, so what have we got? Where's the German Shepherd? They're both out there. Maisie, fella! They're probably not going to come now they've said they got recalled. Made the song, I was so mid of a music producer. How did you think? Hey Sarah, what's going on? Hold off, moving house. Oh, yeah, know those feels, mate. But yeah, good to see you getting tuned over. I'm probably going to do these semi-weekly because this is easy. I just set up my phone, put it on live, and then all of a sudden I'm live streaming. It's crazy. Technology is great. Used for the right purposes, technology is great. Let me clarify. Anyway, so I don't know if you can see. Well, yeah. There are two, I assure you. It's just this one always comes to me when I call her because she's a beautiful, beautiful creature. This is Bella. And the other one that just ran in is Macy, the big black rat. So that's exactly what she's a bloody rat. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, shall we keep working on these? My brother had a bunch of. He's unreal when he can make it timber. He's really good at woodwork, and I did give it a red hot crack. Tim is not forgiving enough for me because I make a lot of mistakes. But metalwork, like I said, if you muck up on something, you can always weld it on a new piece, which would be great if I was good at welding. If not, yeah, that needs to be needed. I apologise to Bears for that noise, because don't worry, that hurt my ears too. That was loud. Yeah, see a couple of us just come up. Another drink. What am I making? So, like a photo frame holder, pretty much. So it's going to go on the back, so it's sort of like a tripod. And then I've got two rivet sort of things, and one end of them is going to be like a hook that just gently goes up so it stops the photo frame from sliding off, pushing the tripod back and making a mess. And there's also an axe head I've got to fix up. But the charm's pretty much already done. I've just got to flatten it out so I can drill a hole in it. I won't be doing any of the cleaning or finishing on this. That's for tomorrow, because by the time I've finished with everything, I'm not running an angle grinder at 7 o'clock at night. Even though by noise laws you're allowed to play doof doof music until 10 o'clock at night, I'm not allowed to sit in my shed and go with a wire brush. So despite my philosophy against it, I'm going to respect it. So. Although I honestly don't think my neighbours are care, because if I make a lot of noise when I'm weird. Listening, I'm probably not using that word correctly, but I got a whole bunch of Christmas gifts that I'm making for people. That's really loud, eh? That's thick enough. I apologise again. That was loud. Actually, the bend that's put in that is kind of artistic. I like it. Yeah, that could work. That'll do. So now, my favourite part, quenching. But yeah, basically, I talked about it at the start of the stream. Like I've got a house up north that I own, and it's not worth much, but I'm renting it out, and it's sort of just covering the mortgage, and on top of that, renting here, because when I was looking to buy down here, it's not because I want to be a property magnate, it's because when I was looking to buy down here, I was already priced out of the market, and that was a year ago, and I'm definitely priced out now, unless I sell my house up north, but currently got people renting the house up north. There's a whole thing to it. I don't need to talk about the rental crisis, everyone in Australia knows about it. But basically, the rent we're paying here is way more than you'd expect for a country town. For a regional area in Queensland, but is pretty high. So I don't have a whole lot, I'm comfortable, I've got enough money to live sort of comfortably, I just don't have a whole lot of money for Christmas gifts, and also this is the time of year where every company decides that billing you would be a great idea at Christmas time. Weird. So I don't have a whole lot of money left over for Christmas gifts, so I figured this year I'm actually, because I really enjoy this hobby, I'm actually going to make Christmas gifts for people. So far, it's been pretty good. I do have a knife upstairs that I made for my mate up in Cairns who has the son, and hopefully he's not watching the stream because I've already sent a picture of it to him. I didn't tell him it was a gift for him because he's into smoking meats and stuff. So I made one of the smoking meat videos where they have the really oversized knives and it makes it look more cool. That's basically what I made for him. I've got to stop getting distracted with talking. Do this stuff. So my favourite part about quenching things like this is that you don't really have to move it around the water because it's really mild steel. So I can just this is that sizzle, baby. Ooh, love it. Anyway, so we do with this one. But yeah, so I just decided this year instead of I'm going to turn that down a little bit because it's wasting gas. This year I decided that instead of buying Christmas gifts, when you got lots of people to buy gifts for, you end up spending thousands of dollars on Christmas gifts, and then there's the postage and the headache of like, oh, what do I buy these people? It's sort of a family tradition in my family that we like practical gifts. So like clothes as a gift to me, I don't mind. I love getting clothes because it saves me from having to go to TK Maxx and buy a pair of socks or jocks if someone buys them for me. In cash, my family's like sort of on it, but like money as a gift, I don't think it's impersonal at all. I think it's brilliant because you can spend it on whatever you want. Basically this year, on top of like some other things that I have bought from actual manufacturers, because you know, you can't make certain electronic components yourself. I have no knowledge of that. Basically, I've got like a whole bunch of practical gifts I'm making for people that they can use or they can display or do whatever they want. So that's the idea. And the best part is, don't tell anyone I made a gift for this, but the best part is, that's a bit too hot, just Daisy. The best part is, yeah, LPG is sort of expensive, especially when you're going through like a cylinder pretty much every 8 days, depending on how much work I'm doing. The best part being that this is pretty cost effective doing it this way. Yeah, I don't have any complaints, and also it keeps my hands on the tools. Because I'm one of those big believers in every skill is perishable, so you must keep your hand on it at all times. That's just a magnet, it's supposed to deaden the noise, but it doesn't really work, as you can tell. So yeah, the charm right now is for a dog collar. I've got another one that's already been made, because the one I was trying to make, I didn't realise it was from hardened steel. When I went to punch a hole through it, it cracked. And that was a problem. Because it's going to be on a dog's collar, and dogs have a tendency to, especially really active dogs like mine, they have a tendency to injure themselves in just really mysterious ways. So I'm just going to clean that up. Yeah, it's see, wrench it. Good, heat it up first. But yeah, and before you ask, yes, my dog's already got little custom made things. Actually, I'll get Bella. Bella! Oh, that's right, I can't take your collar off because it's broke. No, she's naked. So this is Macy's collar. These are little stainless steel, and believe me, because they're stainless steel, putting that hole through them to get that keychain on it, absolute pain in the bum. But it's got their name on it, and it's got my mobile number on it, just punched with, that was poorly shown, you can sort of see it, but just punched with little number punches. So stainless steel though, it's beeswax finish, which is probably worn off by now, because these two are absolute ferals, they're always running around. But yeah, so, yo! What's Tiz Carly? I'm sure that means something. Explain it. I don't know what it means. I'm going to hold on to that now because she won't come back to me if I call her name. Anyway. So, I left it in there too long again. Now I'll wait for it to cool down a little bit before I quench it. Otherwise I'll ruin the whole bloody thing. Okay, that'll do. Anyway, so that leg I was talking about before, I'm going to try and make it out of this. My idea is that basically, ooh, that's warm, that's been sitting next to the furnace. You see that pin there? I forgot to grind that off before the start of this video, and I'm not subjecting you to for like 30 seconds. Basically, I'm going to try and taper that down, not to a point, but a bit longer, just lengthen it a little bit, and then there's going to be a curl that I won't close until it's on the flat part of the triangle I made, and then this part's just going to be sort of bent out into a foot sort of shape, and I'll probably use that as a foot, so that way I can grind that off later. My name is Carly. That's familiar. Why is that familiar? Explain to me why that's familiar. Well, so while that's heating up, we'll also heat up this bad boy. Now this is probably what you're all paying for. So, we've got a mate that just moved down to the southwest area, and they said a while back about, oh, why don't you make me a small axe? And I was like, okay, I will. And they probably forgot about it, so they're going to get very surprised on Christmas with this. I originally was going to keep the spike on the back, but it turned into a cluster. Really old hammer. I found a life hack. If you like working with old steel and like doing stuff like this, when people sell boxes of just old tools for $40, take them up on it, because you can make so many things with those old tools, and that's exactly what I've done. But yeah, so that used to be an old core hammer. All I've done, as you can see there, is hammered that out, and you can see that sort of cattywampus. So the idea is it's not even. This side needs to be flattened out a little bit more, and then it needs to be twisted just a little bit. Just needs a bit of a nose job, straighten up. You can see that it's sort of pressed in on the edges there. That's just going to come out when I grind it. So it's basically all tomahawk. It's not like, say, she can kill people. It's just because she said, where's my little axe? So I'm going to make one. But I can. And the best part is, if you don't factor in the cost of fuel, all these gifts pretty much cost me nothing. Except I did buy, when I talked about that GM250 steel, that's like, there's a local supply here. Brilliant guys. If you're in Warwick and you need steel, go to Budget Steel. They're not a sponsor. I just really like them. Pretty much they like, yeah, they're very generous with their pricing and also the lengths that they cut the steel to. Because if it's like an extra 600 mil on your steel, they're just like, nah, just take it. So they get a lot of business, and a lot of business from me too. I've bought a fair bit of steel from them, and it's cheap. It's cheap steel. Like, I bought probably overall 20 meters worth of steel. Only cost me about, it would have been about 60 or 70 or 80 bucks. That wasn't expensive at all. Granted, it wasn't big stuff, but still, I reckon it's pretty darn good. So that axe head has been healed. You can see there was a lot of scale on it. That's because, just as I suspect, I hit up the wrong part. So that's already been annealed a couple of times. I was told, like, yeah, anneal, harden steel 3 times before you work it. And so far, so good. But yeah, it's also pronounced Cali, like California. California. California? Your name is Kelton. So much material. Yeah, no, there is. There's plenty of material. Like, I've got a whole box of old stuff. People just throw old tools in the bin. That's what I mean. If you need to do this stuff, go on a market like Facebook Marketplace. Anyone who's just, or if you got mates that are farmers, mates that are tradies, mates that have a tradie in the family that's like doing a different job, so they want to get rid of their tools. And it's like, and most people look at these tools and go, oh, they're rusty, you can't use them. Most of the stuff is just surface rust. And yeah, you get some that are just absolutely useless. You can't use those tools. Like, for some reason, there was an old seat belt included in one of the boxes. I'm not going to use that. I might. Who knows? It might live in my shed for the next 10 years. Who knows? But so many people throw out so much usable material. It's not funny. It is not funny at all. So, yeah. I mean, and if you're in like the Brisbane area and you know someone's throwing out some old tools, just send us a message on YouTube. I'll probably drive out and pick them up. I don't think they're cheap. Oh yeah. So, back to what Squeeze was doing. Yeah, we got I've never actually tried tapering out a piece of flat stock, so this should be somewhat interesting. We're going to try it anyway. Tongs really don't want to grip it. And that makes me sad. Like most human beings, I don't like being sad. And it cools down really quick. Cools about this hobby is you learn a lot about like how metal, obviously you're working metal, so you're going to learn about metal work. You learn a lot about how thermal conductivity works and stuff like that. And that's just a fancy way of saying this is a great big heat sink, because that's like, it's cool. Even though it's had red hot pieces of steel on it, it's still cool because it's a lot of space and density and just everything. And the moment I put something hot on it, if I just stood here and let it cool down to the temperature it's at now, it'd take a lot longer than if I just put it on there. And that's it's actually a technique you can use in welding called the heat sink, because a lot of times a lot of metal does not like being welded real hot. And if you weld too much and it gets real hot, you start to burn steel, and that's not good for anyone involved because it puts out bad fumes and stuff. But you can use a thing called the heat sink, which is basically just, even if you have an anvil and you have a hot piece of steel, instead of waiting for it to cool in the air, just chuck it there. Because if you cool it down too quickly, it's going to crack. Because I'm sure you've all seen the science experiments that you get to do in high school, where the teacher has a little water bath full of ice, and then they put it, suddenly the can just goes. That's because it's like, I don't know what it's called, it's like thermal shock or something like that. Basically, if you cool something down too quick, it doesn't give it time for all those stresses and stuff to just naturally sort of come back. And that's what all this annealing and normalizing and tempering and all that is. You're actually changing the structure of the crystals inside the metal, and if you do it too quickly or too slowly, it just doesn't work. So there is like a lot of stuff. Gotta go watching Arcane Season 2 with girlies and yeah. No worries, thanks for popping by. It's good to see you again. Lots of familiar names in the chat. Honestly, I was like, oh, I hope those guys turn up. They did. It was really cool. So thanks for coming by. Yeah, I'm probably going to end the stream soon anyway. It is getting, as you can see, dark outside at 7 o'clock. I don't want to annoy my neighbours too much. But yeah, here I am. Smackin steel. So yeah, like I said, I'm probably going to make this a more regular thing. You know, like I miss doing live streams, right? Because it's one of those things you don't realise how much it's different until you're not doing it, and then you do it again, and you're like, oh, I miss doing this stuff, eh? Tapering that out isn't really working because it's already flat. So lesson learned, you can probably taper. Actually, I'm going to try something different. While that's heating back up, put like a whole ass accent. Just got to remember which side needs the Smackin. That's pretty cool, eh? I love that. This is my favorite part. It's holding really hot bits of steel. Look at all fancy and shit. Next job is, and this may work, it may not. I'm going to let that cool down before we get back in. Basically, as you can see, axe head twisted. I have a vise right there. Look at that. Ooh, it's making my face all wavy. Axe head's twisted, so I'm going to heat it right there. Try not to touch it. That's really hot on my fingertip. Ow. I'm going to heat it and then chuck it in the vise and then twist it and see if we can get it straight and hopefully not damage the eye of the hammer because it's nice and square. I don't have a drift for this one. I've kept it nice and square so far, and I would really hate if in the last little bit that I did, I made it not square and then I couldn't use it, because then I'd have to make a drift to fix the eye, and that would be a pain in the bum because I only have one bit of steel that's big enough to do that, and it's not a drift. I'd have to make it. So we're going to try, but you can see the heat's still sort of concentrated in that area that we want to move. So we're going to chuck that bad boy back in. Let it heat up. I'm being very careful because I don't want the eye of the hammer So this is the idea I have. Instead of trying to flatten it out where it's already flat, what if I try and taper it like a sort of arrowhead, I guess? And tapering is apparently a very basic blacksmith skill. But honestly, there haven't been enough projects where I've really had to do it so far. So now pretty much every project I do, I'm trying to incorporate, not every project, but most projects I'm trying to incorporate some sort of scroll. So it does force me to work on that skill that I don't have. Yeah, so far so good. So far so good. But I have learned the age of lesson of blacksmith, and that is you got to make tools to make tools. So I have had the tank making a punch. Obviously, I'm going to have to make a drift. I'm just going to quickly turn this and I'll keep talking because it's going to require much brain power, and I'm already struggling in that department. Ah, come on. I've got little aluminium sleeves on my vice so I don't, mess things up. But I'm going to see if this works. And please, for the love of goodness, work for me. It is currently burning the aluminium. Alright, and just twist just a little off. That's hard. Oh yeah, that's a little bad. Okay. Back to the drawing board. We're going to have to come up with a different plan of attack for that. I think we're going to have to thread something through there and use it as like a leverage bar. What was I saying? Yeah, make tools to make tools. I've got a pair of tongs I made. Now these aren't the prettiest things in the world, but by goodness, those things clamp down on 12mm round stock like a mother fudger. It's crazy. I can go like that. I can actually try and throw it out of here while I'm clamping down on that because that's spring action, and that's the same thickness that they grab onto. But these things do not let it go. And for a first attempt at tongs, and never having, I did look up a video on how to make them. I just looked at the pair of tongs I had and went by eye, and that's the first time in my life I've ever done that. I'm normally the guy that reads the instructions very carefully. So, that was the first time I did it. And I'm quite proud of that. Yeah, basically, I need to find something that's going to fit in that hole. And golly gosh, I don't know what will. I'm sure I've got a big steel bar here somewhere. Probably isn't carbon steel, but that should give us enough leverage, and hopefully without tipping my whole workbench over, because that thing's not bolted before, should give us enough leverage to move this. We'll see. It's hot. It's hot, 100 degrees. Way more than 100 degrees, Harry. Oh no, it's not going to fit. Bloody hell. Oh, it's not going to fit. Shiitake mushrooms. Oh, will Stetson wrench fit? No, that won't fit either. Right, we're gonna need it. Come on, someone work with me. Yes. Yeah, that's just bending that. Oh no, it's bending me. Oh, damn it. That's annoying. Oh, what a terrible disappointment. Looks like we're just going to have to get that facing the front the old-fashioned way with a hammer, which is where we're at now. Cool. So, we're only got about 5 minutes left of the stream, but in those 5 minutes, we'll leave you with some very important words of wisdom. It's better to wipe more times. Taper, fine light, put a curl in that, try and straighten this accent. So while it's heating up, there you go. And before you ask, yes, this is very hot work. I'm sweating, and it's not hot. Oh! One hit wonder. I just want to check in the camera. No, I pretty much, okay, so that's straight up and down. That's almost perfect. With one tap. One tap. Okay, one more tap. Done. One more time. Got it. No, I didn't. I somehow made it worse. Okay. Well, we'll just tip these things. Okay. Okay. Well, that's heating up. Really all curly-wurly in this one. Done, that's going to hook over the end and then we'll just close it up. I'll just bend it over just a little bit more and then we'll do the foot at the bottom. Yeah, still needs a bit of work. bed. That's going to sit on that, so we want to come in that way. Believe it or not, every time I'm making feet or scrolls, I have to do that. Opening on the top, drilling some holes on the bottom, and then the addition of that foot that we're currently making. Everything needs to be grinded and cleaned before it's put together. We'll set that one aside. I just realised I didn't do two of the things I wrote down, but we got through the rest of the list, and that's rare for me. So, very rare indeed. The other one, we got the charms, need to cut off a little bit on the end there, and that twist is the charm. Drill a little hole through there and clean up those edges. It's done. Slightly more of a whack. I reckon that's about straight on. Oh yeah, no, that's good. So that just needs grinding and finishing. So we'll heat that one up to a nice good quenching temperature, and still on that. This one needs to curl outwards. So we're just going to go work all of that, and I'll replace two. Still quite hot, so I'm not going to try and handle. But you can see that's basically how it's going to sit. Looks good, looks good, looks good. And last one before we have the screen. Quenching this bad boy. Now, important part I learned the hard way. Really should have read more into. Make sure it's evenly heated. So as you can see, there's still a little bit of a, you probably can't see it there. Bring it up closer, yeah. This is the beauty of the camera, it actually shows the parts I'm talking about. Down the bottom there needs to be heated just a little bit more, but really what we're looking for hardening in is there, not so much on the eye, so yeah, fudge it. Probably not such a big deal, we're just going to heat that head evenly and then we're going to go. And we're only trying to quench the edge, make the edge hard. So, actually, you know what? I should probably do that after I finish grinding it, otherwise it's going to take way longer. That's a good point, guys. Thanks for bringing that up. Anyway, so we'll just sit back. And as a final act, we're going to grab these. That's the wrong way around. While the furnace is still on, before I do all my goodbyes, I'm going to chuck that in there so they can heat up and they can cool down in the furnace overnight. That's another like annealing. They've almost cooled down enough to touch, not quite because they're still hot. So yeah, thanks for coming by the stream. It was good to see a lot of you that I hadn't seen for a long time. That was actually really awesome. So I had fun. Hopefully you had some fun watching me as well. Really like these shirts, but they make me look fat. I am heavy, but I'm not like, I exercise. But basically, I'll do these probably, I'll try once a week because it gets me in the shed. And it won't always be at night time, sometimes it'll be during the day, so that way we can make it a bit longer. But gets me talking and stuff. But remember, this is smacking steel and talking shit, so you are more than free to ask questions. But I will see you in the next one. So hopefully you have a great day, a great life, and hopefully your weekend is excellent. Not Saturday for all of us in Australia. I'm working tomorrow, but on night shift. But tonight, I think I'm supposed to be meeting some people up on not real life Xbox One because we're going to go play some games. So I will see you all in the next one. Thanks for popping by, and I don't know how to end live stream, so I'm about to figure it out. I'm pretty sure it's the X button in the corner. We'll see. It is. All right, bye.